Tonight on Lifting the Veil, here we are at Mount Hope Cemetery. If you could just look around, folks, this is such a beautiful cemetery. It's a few days before Halloween. Halloween's Saturday, today's Monday, so we decided to come here and do a little daytime investigating, walk around here, show everyone at home what a fantastic place this really is. It's so beautiful with all the trees and the leaves changing. Here at Lifting the Veil, we've been trying for quite some time now to get permission to come into Mount Hope after hours, which hopefully we will soon be able to come in here and investigate. Now, when you're investigating the paranormal, we like to use the Herb Street method, which is real-time analysis using multiple devices. You know, when you're doing an EVP session, you ask a question, you give a spirit a few seconds to answer you, give them a few seconds before you ask the question, and then you stop and you play it back in real time. In my opinion, this is the best way to communicate with the other side. Because if you're using the other technique of just letting it record for hours, you're not making a connection. It's not a true intelligent interaction. There's just no way. You go home, you review your evidence, you hear help me. How do you help that person days later when you're not even on location? You can't. So real-time analysis is crucial when investigating the paranormal. Now, another thing we like to do when investigating the paranormal, like I said, we use multiple devices. When we set up for an EVP session, we have multiple camera angles on the investigator, on the environment, so you're not missing anything. Also, multiple devices. We use 3 or 4 voice recorders, not just one. Now, we've had things happen where we've caught a voice on one recorder and not another. Or we've caught multiple voices on multiple devices at the same time asking the same question, which is insane. Now, you're not going to notice that if you're just using one device. If you're just using one recorder, letting it run the whole time, and you're asking questions, how are you going to hear these multiple voices if they're only coming up on one device each? Same thing with the K2 session. We like to use the tri-field meter because it has a setting for radio waves to help solidify that we are actually communicating with the spirit world and not just picking up rogue radio signals. And also it helps solidify the K2 session as well. And when we do a K2 session, we use multiple K2s. We don't just use one. And we have also seen, and you have seen at home if you've watched Lifting the Veil, that we have manipulation on one K2 device and not the rest. Now that right there is something in itself, because if it's a natural fluctuation of EMF levels, it would affect all the EMF meters, the K2 meters, the gauze meters, and the tri-field meter, if it wasn't set to radio and it was set to magnetic and electronic. Now, if you ever have any questions about investigating this paranormal, or you'd like to join us on an investigation, you can reach me and my team, Ghost City Paranormal, at myspace.com, or you can reach me, Herb Street, at Facebook. or you can reach me at herb224man@aol.com. Now, something we have been experimenting with as of lately, I like to take pictures in black and white. Now, I've noticed using the black and white rather than the color, and I've also heard from others, and I've caught some things myself using the black and white. You tend to pick up more with the black and white. I don't know why, I'm not sure. And when I say more, like mist, shadows, stuff like that. Now, we've had people ask us questions like, well, don't you get scared when you're investigating the paranormal? You're walking through these locations that are supposed to be extremely haunted. Well, the answer is yes and no. When I'm sitting there in the dark and we're doing an EVP session and we're getting EVP and we're getting K2 spikes, when you're communicating with the other side, there's nothing scary about that. Now, if you're walking around in the dark, investigating the paranormal, and these old methods and old techniques, yes, that's going to be scary because you're not making contact. A fear of the unknown is something that you're always going to have to deal with, okay? Now, when you're making contact, this isn't unknown anymore. It's known. You know you're communicating with the other side. But I have had times where I've seen a full body apparition, or I've been tugged, and you've seen on the episode, where I've gotten startled and I jump. I don't go running the other way. You've also seen things where I've heard things and I've chased after them. You know? We'll be right back. So here we are, still at Mount Hope Cemetery. I'm going to show you, I know I talked a little bit about the method, what real-time analysis is, just so you know at home. You've watched on the show us doing our EVP sessions and that, but I think I'll just show you. What you want to do is you hit record. Who is here? Press stop and you play it back. Who is here? Now, what you do is you hit record, you wait a few seconds, ask a question, and then you wait 10 to 15 seconds for the spirit to respond. We find this works. We've communicated for long periods of time using this technique, and it works for us and anyone at home. You should try this, and it's very effective. It's a very good way to communicate with the other side, to investigate the paranormal, the real-time analysis. And I know there are people out there that have used real-time analysis before, but I have molded my own technique, my own method, to apply real-time techniques along with other techniques and methods, which makes the complete Herb Street method. So if you want to just follow me over here. Now, the method itself is not just real-time analysis. Like I said before, it's using multiple techniques, multiple devices, all at the same time. If you sit down for a K2 session, you've got voice recorders running the whole time. You've got voice recorders using real-time analysis. You've got K2 meters, you've got tri-field meters, you've got Gauss meters, you've got temperature gauges. You're covering everything. Every time you're investigating the paranormal, you're using all the tools to the best of their abilities. This is the whole package of the Herb Street method. And it's something that anyone can do. You know, you just got to apply yourself. like I said before, if you ever have any questions, you could always contact me.